All right, I forgot to press the recording button, so thanks a lot for the person. I already missed who said it, but thanks a lot for reminding me to push the recording button. So now we're actually recording. All right, let's go up with some questions. We have about an hour until the end of the Kickstarter campaign. We'll be counting down with you until the end, and then we'll be popping a small bottle to celebrate, obviously. Dom1971 asks if there will be an Android or iOS app. Unfortunately, this is probably never going to happen, simply because we made a choice at the start to go for high definition, high quality graphics with a lot of detail, and it's just not realistic to do these kind of graphics on mobile devices. So it's a trade-off we made from the start, and that's why it'll probably be Windows, Mac, Linux forever.
Yeah. Linux is going to be in there as well. And there is a question regarding the option to print maps with less ink. That's been asked before quite a lot of times, actually. And yes, we will definitely look into that. We're trying to make it as printer-friendly as possible. So saving on ink is definitely one of our concerns.
Absolutely. Nasty Joe asked a question: why aren't I using a Belgian beer as a party drink at the end of the campaign? That's a really good question, because I'm way more of a beer enthusiast than I am like a bubbly drink enthusiast. But to be honest, I just don't have one in my fridge right now. Otherwise, I would definitely do that.
The non-square room question.
The non-square room question. Probably, I guess, the number one question we had so far, right? Well, the thing is, if we found it really, really difficult, the entire campaign, to explain to people what we mean with what is possible, because it is possible to make non-square rooms. It is possible to make rooms in L shapes or all kinds of straight shapes. But right now it's not possible to use diagonal walls. Now, this question has been asked so much that I think we should probably make it our top priority to find a way to make this work as soon as possible. Do you agree, Wim?
Yeah, I was kind of toying with the idea to actually have a square 4x4 grid and then fill it in with a round room or something like that, so we can do mages, towers, or whatnot. Yeah. We haven't settled on a solution yet, but I'm sure there's going to be possibilities.
Yeah. And
will there be hex grids? Yes, there will be hex grids.
Yeah, there will be hex grids.
Absolutely, we're going to make that possible.
And as for the mages tower, I think the main reason why we didn't go for the diagonal walls was because the AI algorithm works on a square grid, and it doesn't really work on like half squares or stuff like that. But we will find a solution for this. Maybe we'll like exclude the parts of the room that are close to the walls, but we do fill in the rest of the room with the AI algorithm, just like a square room. I think there is a very good solution to be found here. But this is something we still have to figure out, but we'll make it work.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions regarding round rooms, but there are very little concerns about what to do with the outside of the room. Filling in a round room is really manageable, but putting furniture to the outside of a round room is a complete disaster.
It's true. All right, there's a lot of questions, so we can't answer them all. We're just kind of going to pick some that we see passing and go for it. So what's another question that we see here? Oh, whoa, it's just too fast to read. An ETA on the beta program. We've been saying from the start that our goal is to release the beta in the third quarter of this year. Whether it's going to be September or August, we can't say at this point, but we still aim to get there at that time, right?
Will we be adding more styles over time? Will we ever? Yes, absolutely. Let's see. And as for the sci-fi content, we've seen the question and we're working on it. Yeah. It's going to pop up sooner or later, and we'll let you all know.
Yeah. I see another question here. Will there be a fog of war system? I don't think that's for us to make, because there's already a lot of tools out there. Foundry, Fantasy Grounds, Roll20, Let's Roll is coming up that already do the whole fog of war thing. So we want to focus on what we do good, what we do best, and that's map making. And we want to make it as easy as possible for you to export our maps into all these tools so that you can use their systems for fog of war instead of programming our own.
The exclusive object question passed by. Well, we settled on that. Maybe you haven't seen it. The general idea is that we create about 15 objects, 5 large objects, including the 3 that are already made, and 10 smaller objects for the people backing the exclusive object tier.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that these small objects will be like super small. They're just not going to be massive giant dragon statues.
We're on the Discord discussing options for that as well. So if you guys got any great suggestions, hop on over on the Discord and let us know.
Absolutely. Marcus asks, how are you guys doing over there in Belgium? I guess I'll let you answer that one first, Will.
Well, seems pretty good over here. We've got a lot of wind, so there's that, I guess.
There's a little hurricane passing by today. It's really, really wild out there. I already had to go outside and pull some stuff in because it was falling off our terrace, 1 floor down. But aside from that, I guess we're all in the same boat here in terms of Corona as well, right? Working from home, doing our best to make it work.
Yeah, we do have hurricanes in Belgium. Not many of them, but they're there.
Yeah.
Your personal favorite item or team you've made so far. I'm kind of a fan of the Orrery. I gotta be honest on that one. It was a lot of fun to make. And, well, it got me into spherical textures as well with Carl's help. So, yeah, there's that.
And also, I think he's also very, very proud of his walking secret door that he keeps using everywhere all the time. That if you haven't noticed it, in the last video we posted, there's a little Easter egg of a walking door somewhere in the video. So check it out afterwards if you haven't noticed it.
Yeah, that is the wandering secret door concept we've been pestering Jason Bullman with since the very start. I have no intention whatsoever to drop it.
Do we send our banners by email or stuff like that? No. We'll provide an interface for you to upload your image, whatever image you choose, to Dungeon Alchemist directly, and then you can use that image in the map you're making. If you're making a new map afterwards, you can always upload a new image and change the flag design to something else. So you're free to use as many flag designs as you want, but they'll be personal. You won't be sharing them with other people, because then you open the door for people uploading some ugly stuff. Are there going to be stairs? Short answer, yes, I guess.
Yeah, there are going to be stairs.
There's going to be stairs.
There are stairs as is. We've got wooden stairs. We got we got stone chairs.
Is it possible to upgrade after the Kickstarter has finished? Well, up until a few hours ago, we've been answering we don't know to that question, but we can now actually confirm that you will be able to upgrade your pledge on the pledge manager after the Kickstarter has finished. I finally got confirmation about this, official confirmation from our pledge manager team a few hours ago. So you will be able to upgrade afterwards, but only up to the Dungeon Master tier. We've decided that the Scribe of the Cartomancers Guild and the Grandmaster of the Cartomancers Guild tiers will remain fully exclusive for the Kickstarter, and you'll never be able to get them again.
And Paul Joachim asks about different levels. We're going to do different levels. So, for example, when you got the tavern and there's an upper floor, we're definitely going to foresee some options to get an upper floor. We just haven't worked out exactly how yet. Chances are these will be different maps next to each other as they are in the classic battle maps.
Yeah. what's the largest map you can make? On our side, there's not really going to be a limit. It will be limited by, I guess, the power of your computer at some point. You can keep adding more and more stuff, but at some point you will run into memory limits and stuff like that. But I feel, we haven't really tested it, how large you can go, but I feel like you can go pretty big before things start falling apart. When will the next exclusive stuff be announced? Wim, do you have a...
No ETA at this point in time. I hope to do that as soon as possible.
How long have we been working on this? Physicus asks.
About 8 months. We came up with the concept in July last year, when it was just a couple of sketches on paper, and we've been working on it since. Yeah. This is kind of a side gig for us, and both of us have official jobs. So yeah, there's that.
It was a side gig for us. I guess it isn't anymore at this point. So that brings us very seamlessly to the next question. Did you see this coming? A lot of people have been asking us, and I guess the answer is very clearly, obviously, not at all. We already knew that there was some interest for the project before the Kickstarter started, because we had collected a good amount of emails in our mailing list from Reddit posts, from Twitter posts and stuff like that. But I mean, when we're talking about like what would be a really wild amount to collect, I was saying like 200k would be crazy. Like 200k would be amazing, and that would be like more than 4 times as much as we wanted to raise initially. And yeah, now yeah, it's completely insane. And Paul also mentions the power of advertising, and that's absolutely true. We recruited an ad agency called BackerCamp and BackerKit a week after the campaign started, and they built the ads for us. We worked together closely with them, and they did a really amazing job of reaching new people, because we really didn't get any press coverage at all at the start. The only real backers we got were from word of mouth or some Reddit posts or maybe a tweet we made here and there, but we weren't getting any press articles or stuff like that. And the ad agency really helped us reach a lot of new people.
Thanks a lot for the compliment on the promo video as well. Well, every single video was recorded inside Dungeon Alchemist. Part of that is the fact that I'm too lazy to do it anywhere else or render it out completely in different software. It's just much easier doing it within the application.
Yeah, you gotta realize that making all these animations of the walls popping up and stuff like that, if you're gonna do this manually in some 3D tool, it's an insane amount of work. But in Dungeon Alchemist, it's just integrated in the software, so it just works. And yeah, it's a lot faster as well. I use professional 3D software in a lot of other applications, and it's never as fast as what I can get out of Unity. That's a really good question here. How often will you give us progress info? And is it going to be on Discord, Facebook, or Twitter? I think we still have to figure this out. We didn't expect this to blow up, so we're going to take some time after the Kickstarter ends to like contemplate about this and make a roadmap for the future and see how we're going to manage our community. So bear with us, we'll figure it out, but we do intend to keep the community up to date on development and like try to give you a lot of like small tidbits of progress or new content that Wim has made, that kind of stuff.
Are you going to expand your team now? Now you've seen how successful this Kickstarter has been. We're definitely going to be looking around for new talent to join us. We haven't figured out the specifics yet.
No, correct. How would you implement the density of objects option? Absolutely. We'll have a density slider that allows you to kind of determine how full the room will be filled by the AI algorithm. And you can put it all the way to 0 to make an empty room and just build it yourself from scratch. Or you can make it very dense, or you can pick something in between. Open source? No, sorry. That's not going to happen. We still have to make some money off of this, so it's not going to be an open source application, but we do want to support actual modding. That's why we already have the Steam Workshop stretch goal, so we'll have map sharing from the start, and we do want to expand that into other types of modding for Dungeon Alchemist, so you can actually make it a bit more your own.
That's a lot of questions you guys are asking.
Yeah, well, we're just like cherry picking them because we really we can't answer them all, but we'll do our best to just keep answering and see where we get. We're already up to almost 400 people, by the way, Wim.
Yeah. Can you pre-design a dungeon and then plop in one room at a time as players explore? I kind of like that idea. We haven't discussed it in that way yet, but it's a very good idea to have a dungeon and then just pop them up. Not going to do that?
There's some more specific questions about modding, but I really can't answer them at this point because we haven't, modding wasn't even on our radar before the Kickstarter, so we'll need some time to figure it out and see what the best option is. Important question by Wizard80. How will dynamic lighting settings be exported to something like Foundry? So you don't have to add walls by hand. There's already an exposed API by Foundry that allows you to import wall, lights, doors, ethereal walls, all that kind of stuff from an external file. And we aim to provide that file so that it's just a one-click option to get all this data right onto your map and get playing.
Are you both the DMs yourself? No. We do not claim to be dungeon masters, so we will never do so. I'm an avid Pathfinder player myself.
Yeah, and I did play role-playing games, but I'm not as obsessed with them as Wim is. I'm more of a video game background. I did play a lot of classic RPGs, Fallout, Baldur's Gate, the old classics.
One of them asked what it first inspired me. Well, there's a very clear answer to that. Back when I was about 7 years old, St. Nicholas came over, which is kind of like the Belgian version of Santa Claus. And he presented me with a fantasy board game, which I shall not name in a live stream, but it was hugely thrilling at the time, and it got me into fantasy playing in the first place.
It's Hero Quest. It's Hero Quest.
I did not state that for the record. It was grand. I've been trying to draw that barbarian from the age of 7 to the age of 10. I never quite got the foreshortening right. So somewhere out there's a lot of drawings of a failed barbarian.
Here's a good question for you, Wim. Yep. What campaign have you recently played in Pathfinder by Jeroen?
I'm an exceptional fan of the Strange Eons campaign, which I've been playing for a couple of years, and now we're on the Rise of the Rune Lords campaign, where I'm playing a fat catfolk that is being led around by the goddess Desna in form of a raspberry cupcake. I can take further questions, but I don't really see the point in that. So let's see what else is asked.
Will the different map types have separate styles of interiors, or will just the outside border look snowy or sandy? Well, I think this question, we will have interior themes and exterior themes, like interior like crypt, mansion, laboratory, and we'll have exterior themes like forest, snow, and you can just combine them at will. So you can put a small crypt in a snowy environment, or put a small smithy in a forest or whatever, stuff like that. You can combine it as much as you want.
Yeah, my Dungeon Master is on here as well, and reminded me to not forget the Hell's Rebels campaign, which I will obviously not forget. It's kind of a standstill now. We've got Corona, but we'll be picking it up again as soon as possible.
Which VTT is best to use with this product? The thing is, not all VTTs support all features, right? I think Foundry supports most of the stuff we will be able to export, including doors, animated backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. Roll20 is the most difficult one because, to be honest, they just don't have a very good way to import stuff. So it's really tricky, and we will have walls, lighting, but doors, like if you've played Roll20, you know that doors are just a wall that you delete, right? And you can't have animated backgrounds, so it really depends. I think if you really want to know a concrete answer, I think Foundry is the best all-around solution right now to work with Dungeon Alchemist.
Do we plan on expanding to Let's Roll? Kodo?
Well, absolutely. We've been talking to the Let's Roll people during the last week of the campaign. We gave them a shout out as well, and we talked it over, and because of the way we export our maps, they'll be fully compatible with Let's Roll as well, including animated backgrounds. And I have a really good question here that I saw passing. Hi, from a fellow Belgian. Did you notice in the YouTube ad your awesome app is incorrectly named Dungeon Chemist? Well, yes, we did notice because you've been telling us about this 50 times every day. So,
Dungeon Chemist for the win.
Dungeon Chemist. Let me tell you why it's called Dungeon Chemist. It is called Dungeon Chemist in the ad because the ad agency we're working with decided to call it Dungeon Chemist. That's because there's a really small box on the YouTube ad space, and only a limited number of letters fit into it, and Dungeon Alchemist was too long to fit in there, so they decided to shorten it to Dungeon Chemist. And now this specific ad turned out to be by far our most successful ad. So when I said to the ad agency, like, hey guys, you know it's Dungeon Alchemist and not Dungeon Chemist, right? They answered that they really didn't want to change anything in the ad because the ad is by far the most successful one, and they didn't want to ruin it. So that's why it's still Dungeon
that they didn't even ask our approval.
Oh, they didn't. The ad agency is called Becker Camp, and they did a really excellent job helping us.
Becker Camp really came up.
Yeah, it worked. It did work.
The 3D export for printing. We've been getting a lot of questions about 3D export for printing. We're optimizing the models for Dungeon Alchemist because, well, there's a lot of objects and there's a lot of walls and doors and whatnot. So we use normal map textures, which are basically just an image. These do not print at all. If you're going to be printing them, they're going to be a flat shaped object. So sadly, at this point in time, there are no options for 3D export to print. This may change in the future, but we've no concept of how to do that at this point in time.
D&D Dude said, good thing it did not turn into Dungeon Allergy. Well, we're also very happy that it didn't turn into Dung Alchemist instead of Dungeon Chemist, because they could have done that as well. How will the animated traps and doors work with VTTs like Fantasy Ground Unity? Well, traps, so we aim to allow you, there's two ways to do this. A tool like Foundry allows you to import tokens as well, so you can import an image that you can delete alongside the map, so that you can have a separate trap image that you can hide or show if you're the DM. And then it's very easy to do it like that. It will not be animated to traps because we try to figure this out, and Right now there's not a single VDT that actually supports animated imported tokens, so we can't really do that. For some other VDTs like Roll20 will just provide you with images that you'll have to place yourself because they just don't allow for importing tokens. So.
As I saw, two good questions pass by in the meantime. Will we use Belgian beers in the brewery? If any brewery feels the need to call out to us and have us put their beers in there, we can certainly discuss, but it hasn't come up at this point in time. Then will we have carpets to cover traps? Yes, there are carpets. There are 3 carpets in Dungeon Alchemist present at this point in time, all 3 of which I photographed in the local secondhand store.
Will we be able to put objects from one theme in a room from another? Absolutely. You'll be able to place any object in any room type. No limits. Go crazy. Any information about Steam Workshop? At the release, we will only have Steam Workshop for map sharing. So if you made a map that you want to share, for example, you made a map for some official campaign and you think it's really well made, then you can just share it on Steam Workshop so other people can download and use it for free. That's what we're going to have at release. Afterwards, we want to expand Steam Workshop to more functionality to allow for modding of Dungeon Alchemist as well.
Can you mix and match floors and walls? Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Any details on alpha? Not really at this point, sorry. How will the beta work with feedback on the program? Well, we'll be using Discord as our main kind of communications channel for the beta. We'll probably also be using some kind of issue system that allows you to report bugs. To be honest, this is all still something we have to figure out as well.
And what programming environment you use to make the app? We're working in Unity.
Yes, everything's made in Unity and programmed in C#.
Yeah. As to why I remind people of a Swedish celebrity, I resemble a lot of Swedish celebrities. I think that's the main factor in that.
So,
will the outside of the maps be filled in like terrain? Yes.
Yes. How will you release new content after version 1.0? We'll be supporting this app after release, of course. So we'll be adding more free updates, stuff like that. I think that's pretty common and normal nowadays.
Do you guys include secret doors?
Oh wow! And also, Chaos Engine says that Wim reminds him of Floki from Vikings, and holy shit, that's absolutely true. I never noticed this before myself.
Am I supposed to know this person?
It's a really good television series about Vikings, obviously.
We'll get to that after then.
Yeah, I agree.
Batshit crazy.
Yeah, he is batshit crazy, Floki. Will backers get any free DLC after launch, as it was such a great Kickstarter? I think we're already giving out a lot of stretch goal stuff. There will be free updates, obviously, so they will be included, but they will not just be included for Kickstarter backers. They'll be included for everyone. We don't want to give people who are too late for the Kickstarter a shitty deal. That's not fair to them either. So we gotta keep it fair for everyone.
Okay. Can you click and drag to dynamically enlarge an already made room? Yes, you can. You can add tiles and you can remove tiles.
Yeah, yeah. And the AI algorithm will add new objects as you increase the size of the room to match the new room shape. Will the Kickstarter exclusive stuff after a while be available to everyone? No. We will have a pledge manager that will be launching right when the Kickstarter ends that allows for late pledges, and they will be able to get the Kickstarter exclusives as well, but after that they'll be gone forever. We gotta stick to our promises, so we don't want to undermine the support of people from the Kickstarter. So if you yeah, no, that's it.
Coral, are you intending to start playing tabletop RPGs now?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think I have a choice. And it might actually be really fun to, when we're in the beta phase, to do a one-shot where we actually participate in online and we stream it or something like that with maps made in Dungeon Alchemist. I think that might be a really fun thing to do. Might also be really funny to see me as a role-playing noob next to a bunch of professionals screw it up. So I think that might be a really fun thing to look forward to. How visible is the flag going to be in 2D? Wim, do you have a...
That's a good question. Well, obviously we've got the top-down angle, which makes certain objects always more difficult to implement. So the idea is that the flag will be visible from the front view, and when you turn the camera around, it's going to be a really good visibility. But as soon as you put in top view, it's obviously going to be foreshortened. I don't think there's any way to go around that.
But I do think there are some items that we can think of that lie flat and that still feature the flag design. For example, maybe a carpet, like a carpet runway or something like that, that can also feature the flag design. So does this make sense to you, Wim? That...
Yeah, I think we should be looking into options to make the top view as compatible as well.
Any thoughts on making Dungeon Alchemist a VTT itself? Not right now. We can't say we can't say that it will not evolve to it at some point, but first and foremost, we want to make the best map making app of all time, and that's going to take plenty of time. And after that, we can see where we expand our business. But right now, our focus is solely on making a map making app.
Yep. As for business plans, what do you see Dungeon Alchemist becoming in 1, 5, or 10 years? Our main concern now is to get basic software as Dungeon Alchemist as a platform completely the way we intended it. And from there on out, we're going to be starting to expand towards more content. Obviously, we want to get in as much content as humanly possible. There's a lot of demand for sci-fi content, but I've seen hundreds of teams pass by ever since we started Kickstarter, which we all would like to incorporate at some point in time. We've been talking to people about other options for Dungeon Alchemist as well. One that stuck out in particularly to me was the fact that augmented reality would combine really well with Dungeon Alchemist, and having the possibility to have a digital version in augmented reality obviously has a lot of appeal to us.
Can you tell us recommended specs? Short answer, no, because in order to actually be able to say something specific about specs, we need to test them on devices. That's the only way. And we haven't tested Dungeon Alchemist on a large scale yet, so we can't promise anything. But the thing is, it's not a super demanding app because most of the objects are static. There's not a lot of animation. So I strongly believe that it will run smoothly on like an average laptop. You don't need like a hardcore gaming computer to run Dungeon Alchemist.
The tabletop simulator question seems to be popping up quite a lot of times. We've been answering that quite a lot of times as well. Karel, how are we on tabletop simulator?
Well, another question we didn't see coming. We weren't aware of people playing role-playing games on Tabletop Simulator, so I've been postponing the answer to this question because we still have to figure out if it's possible and how we could make it work.
Your all-time favorite font, Karel?
That's definitely the Edliner font. Will there be sound effects? That's a good question, Wim.
Yeah, I've been asking myself that question.
Yeah.
I kind of like the wall sound of them moving and popping out of the ground. Honesty commands me to tell you that we've been using a very small sound pack from the start, which a lot of you people have noticed, and the fact that the music is the same in every single demo video. But sure, if we can import sounds, why not? I'm sure it will annoy a lot of you people if there are sounds, but we'll find a common ground.
Question. Is your lifetime license killed if you are killed by an ogre in your first dungeon? Absolutely. You'll definitely lose your lifetime license and you'll have to buy a new one.
Yep. I think by all fairness, your license should go to the other players.
It's true. The ogre gets your license and the ogre will get to make maps from there on out.
Will we make translations in German and other languages? Yes, we've had a lot of offers for localization, and we'll be looking into localization after the Kickstarter, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not going to be a lot of text in Dungeon Alchemist, so localization should be something we'll definitely look into.
Can we audition for voice roles if there is sound? I honestly don't know what kind of voice roles you guys have in mind.
Yeah,
but
you want to make the walls talk. Is that what you're asking? You want to make like wall sounds or rock sounds with your voice?
Well, and what is my go-to Raisin class in Pathfinder? I'm always a wizard, and when I'm not a wizard, I'm a shadow oracle, as I am now.
My D&D group tends to make maps together. Is it possible to share the app in a team where people can work together? Well, one license of Dungeon Alchemist is tied to a Steam account. So sharing a Steam account, most people don't really want to do that because usually there's a lot of like other games and stuff on Steam. But I think there might be a way to do this with the Steam Workshop system. I'm not sure. We'll have to look into that.
How will you make doors recognizable in a top view? That was a question I was asking myself a couple of months ago as well. And I was toying with the idea of adding an icon, but turns out that even in top view, most doors are easily recognizable. Once you slide them open a bit, or you open them a bit, it's instantly recognizable as a door to me.
Yeah.
If it isn't clear enough, we'll find a way to make it clearer. We'll have to see.
And family sharing, Steam Play, you can use whatever feature Steam supports to work on maps together. There's no limit on our side. We don't really care about that. Is Steam required to use the software? Unfortunately not. We get this question a lot. Some people really don't like Steam or don't want to install Steam. I totally understand this, but we made the decision very early on to make this a Steam app for various reasons. One of the reasons is that Steam really offers us a lot of stuff. Like for example, Steam Workshop, cloud saves, they host the app as well. So we don't have to, and it really saves us a lot of time so we can focus on actually developing the app instead of working on server, like website, checkout, all that kind of stuff. So it saves us so much time and gives us so much free features that we really can't pass it on. So it'll be on Steam only. Sorry. Yeah, we have 50 minutes left on the Kickstarter campaign. Holy shit. And how far along are we right now? We're at 2,457,000. So I think the question is, will we hit 2.5 million? It's still possible, but it's gonna be tricky. Would be really cool though. That would be like a totally magic number, right, Wim?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna get there, but we'll see what gets. Yeah, we'll be supporting Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yes. Can you split the map into multiple pages for printing? Yes. Short answer, yes.
Can you make larger maps than the paper sizes? If you want to print them, there's going to be stuff dropping off from the page, of course. But if you want to make a large digital map, you can absolutely do so. We're foreseeing an unlimited size where you can build as much as you like, but that will be limited by your computer's performance, most likely.
With your placeholder commercial license, will you allow us to use the beta maps for live streaming? Well, live streaming doesn't even fall under the commercial license. You're free to stream and make YouTube videos as much as you want using Dungeon Alchemist or using Dungeon Alchemist maps. So go ahead, nothing to worry about.
And yes, it will be Mac supported.
Yeah. Well, people have been asking about a live demo. I'm sorry, we're not going to do one at this point. We're not prepared for it. The software is not prepared for it at this point. It's going to give a bad impression, to be honest, because there's no UI in place.
The general idea for the Kickstarter was to raise enough funds to be able to make a working demo that will live up to the standard everyone is putting out there. So as soon as we got a live demo, we'll be sure to show all of you.
Yes. Doesn't mean that we're selling a dream, right? I just want to make it clear. We do have a functioning prototype. We do have all the assets in place. We can make taverns and stuff like that, but we don't want to give you guys the impression that we're making a sloppy product, and we don't want to give the bad impression at this point. How realistic is the working model to the videos? Well, all the videos are made actually in Dungeon Alchemist, so
we've been thinking about referencing Cyberpunk 2077.
And then there were some questions about the AI as well. Like, for example, will the AI learn from the user so that it kind of learns from you how you think your taverns should look? This is not something we intend to do right now. First, we want to train the AI algorithm ourselves with examples we provide. But I think it's a really interesting avenue to kind of explore how the AI algorithm can be customized to each user so that the user kind of gets a personal experience adapted to their preferences. But that's something we will look into later.
A slang roll is a long person, by the way.
Is it, Wim? You've been calling yourself Slangrel for so long, and I've been wondering what it means for like a year now.
Google is your friend.
And I never bothered asking. So thanks for that question, Emma Safi. I'm really happy to know right now.
Will there be Mayan death robots? That depends on whether we can use the models.
Well, once we're doing the sci-fi pack, we definitely should put in some death robots.
But are you hoping to find out during the beta? That's a good question. How people will be using and abusing the application, I suppose.
Yeah. So classically, the alpha version is to test for app breaking bugs and stuff like that. We'll be doing that in a closed group. And for the beta, the app should be relatively stable, and then it's just finding the weird bugs and seeing how people do crazy stuff with the app and break it, and then try to make it so that it doesn't break anymore in the future.
Yep. As for living up to expectations, that's obviously been a major concern to us. People have put their expectations extremely high. And I do mean extremely high. Everyone is hoping for Dungeon Alchemist to solve all of life's problems. And moreover, they expect Dungeon Alchemist to be finished as an application and as a software the moment this Kickstarter ends, which will be right about in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd like to state for the record that we have not finished the program. We have not put in all the content at this point in time, and we hope to do so as soon as possible. As soon as we've got an opportunity, we'll definitely share as much as we can with all of you guys.
Because what you also have to realize is the last month we haven't been developing at all because it's been completely impossible to do so. With this Kickstarter taking off the way it did, we've been basically answering questions, responding to people for like 30 days straight. And we're really, me personally, I'm really looking forward to actually start programming on Dungeon Alchemist again and make some progress. And I think I speak for Wim as well.
Yep. Will Dungeon Alchemist be able to get me a girlfriend? No. We've tried that on several occasions and the answer is a resounding no.
Will Dungeon Alchemist solve world hunger? And will it be released in 2015? We're working on both answers, but maybe after release. We'll solve world hunger next.
How large is our programming team? That's a bold question to ask.
Right now it's me.
Are you 100% devoted to Dungeon Alchemist now, or are you keeping your day jobs? Well, our day jobs luckily are rather less, but I think Carl is having a great intake of work at this point in time.
We're doing both freelance work, so it is something we can lower in intensity, and we do intend to do that, I think, right? But exactly how we're going to organize our lives, we'll have to figure out.
Yeah.
In a few, like next week or something.
It's a question that's come up, and we'll need to address it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Let's see. Freelance life. Yep.
Can buildings be transformed
into Dungeon Alchemist? Yep, that is true. We've spent 3 weeks with absolutely no sleep at all. I think we slept 10 hours combined in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's. And the moments that I actually had time to sleep, I couldn't sleep because I was so nervous and pumped and full of adrenaline that every day I've been waking up at like 5 a.m. for no reason whatsoever, and I just couldn't sleep anymore. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to a real long night's sleep soon.
It's just like being a parent. Carl? When did you realize Kickstarter was going to go crazy? I think about 3 hours in launch, when we hit the goal we set ourselves. That was about the time we realized this might take off.
Question?
Will Dungeon Alchemist have a dedicated alchemist room? Yes, absolutely.
Yes. G. Beezing asks, Karel, what can you play on that keyboard behind you? Let's say I'm an amateur musician, but I did make the music that you hear at the end of the Kickstarter video myself. Made it in Fruity Loops, didn't actually play it on the keyboard behind me. I'm pretty proud of that.
Do we have any ideas for the upcoming project after we perfected Dungeon Alchemist? Yes, but those are classified. We're not telling you.
It's solving world hunger.
I thought we were doing those together. Would love a world map view. Yeah, making world maps the way we use Dungeon Alchemist would definitely be a boon.
Either Rider asks my favorite board game. I'm actually a really avid board gamer. I think I have a fixed board game group that we get together with every Wednesday. And I think my most amazing board game experience of all time is definitely Pandemic Legacy Season 1. It's been really mind-blowing, and it really changed for me how I experience board games. Ruins, Burnt Rooms. We have a Ruins stretch goal, so they'll be there.
Yeah, Pandemic Legacy. Yeah, Pandemic was great. I don't understand how people are beating that game on difficult mode.
What's the best test room you've made so far? Well, I'm very proud of the really ugly tavern in the shape of a, like, in this shape that we made at some point, and that I've been sharing and that Wim's been sharing occasionally on Discord and stuff like that.
Can you change flags with different maps? Yeah, that's the idea, I think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. You will be able to upload new images whenever you want.
Can I make a 30 feet by 30 feet toilet? Yes, you can.
Yes, absolutely.
What about an elven-looking team? Yes, we'll be looking into that, but that's for later.
I'm seeing a shout out from Freze representing Castle Quest 2. Castle Quest 2 is the first, let's say, real game I made when I was 16 years old. So really cool to see some Castle Quest players on the stream as well. Thanks for joining us. All right, go ahead, Wim.
Do we see the possibility to launch Dungeon Alchemist earlier than January 2022? I'd like to say that extra funding will help us to make more possible, but it will not necessarily make things happen faster. We really want to put in the time and effort we need to make this the project you're all hoping for.
You got to realize bringing on an extra programmer comes with a serious overhead, comes with a serious investment cost of onboarding them and learning to work together with them. And if we start bringing on like tripling our team immediately, it will not make the app release faster. It might even make it release slower. So we will bring on help, but we're not going to be like trying to speed it up and bring on tons of people to make the app, to get the app out of the door quicker. All right. Actually, I am going to grab my bottle for the countdown. I'll be right back. Wim, are you going to get something, or are you going to hold the fort?
I'll be following the chat in the meantime.
Cool.
Go for it. So many questions that Carol needs to be answering. 9 pregnant women can't make a baby in a month. No, that is true. Let's see. Thank you for being proud of us. I had my mom say the exact same thing this morning. Well, we'll try to make it as good as we possibly can. If everyone is hoping for so much quality content, so let's try and make that happen. Right. Carl, I think someone gave you a compliment on your Hollow Knight shirt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. We have less than 1 minute to go.
Yes. A lot of people have been backing this Kickstarter that had never been to Kickstarter before, which is definitely a plus. Are there going to be sculptures of you guys because we are sexy? I'm not sure my wife would allow that. No.
30 seconds. We're going to start counting down at 50.
We can't. Yeah, okay.
And it's going to be horrible because we're not going to be in sync, but we'll do our best. 20 seconds to go. Got my bottle ready. I'm going to hope you'll hear it pop. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. It's over.
We got the confetti and everything. I didn't know they were doing fireworks. Well, thanks all of you so much. It's been an absolute ride, and we never expected all of this.
Wim, I would totally give you one a glass as well, but we're on the other side because of Corona. So
Well,
this one's
thank
for you, man.
Going through all of this with with me, because we didn't see it coming. It was gonna be insane, but we didn't know it was gonna be this insane. I think one of the curses was to be living in interesting times, but having a successful Kickstarter is definitely out there as well.
Yeah. All right. So the final score is just shy of 2.5. That's amazing.
Yes. Are we
That's
getting
amazing.
Dungeon Alchemist this very second? No. Sleep. That would definitely be an option. Where can we download Dungeon Alchemist? Not right now. But it will be available for download. We promise you that.
How does it feel to be rich?
Aha! Obviously, you've never spoken to the Belgian tax system.
Yes.
And they are looking at us with hungry eyes, so to speak.
Absolutely.
We are not millionaires. We would really like that to be true, but sadly it isn't. We're both Belgian, by the way. And for those asking, we speak Dutch. Ik kan in Nederlands verder gaan, maar dan gaan er heel weinig mensen ons nog verstaan.
When's Dungeon Alchemist 2 coming? Well, we're launching our Dungeon Alchemist 2 Kickstarter in about 2 weeks, so get ready for that and get ready to pledge again.
Antwerps, Schotens, dat is nog platter. Well, at least one of you understood us. Now the Kickstarter is finally finished, we can go over to our own regional accents.
So, just again, I want to thank you all for this amazing experience. It's insane.
Every dungeoning is a great one. Okay, thank all of you people so much, and we'll probably be in touch sooner rather than later. For those that want to, you can always join the Discord. And otherwise, talk to you soon in mails, updates, sites, Facebook, Twitter, whatnot.
Yeah.
Have a great one, all of you.
Yeah, we will be. We have to close down now, simply because we have to kind of do some stuff, set up, like launch the pledge manager, all that kind of stuff. So we'd love to keep hanging out, but right now we still have some work to do to wrap this up. Thanks a lot again, and we'll definitely be in touch, and you'll hear from us a lot.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.